mean, seriously. We're called Behind the Costume, yet my costume is behind me.
My costume is behind me.
So, once again, welcome to Behind the Costume. I am your host, Jill Phoebe.
I'm Harley.
I don't know why I gave my last name, but I did.
Because you're a weirdo.
I am a weirdo, which makes me so awesome. So, where is our show going today?
Apparently, we're the resistance of the teddy bear.
I am resisting this teddy bear.
Look at it. Look at it. In its bareness.
You will listen. We will resist, and Goldilocks will give me back my porridge and my bed with pillows.
And chairs.
And chairs.
You'll have to forgive us. We're having an off day today.
I'm having a wonderful day. They brought me caffeine.
So today we're going to be talking about apocalypse.
Apocalypse
Different
garb.
kinds of apocalypse garb.
And
whether it be water world, forest, or
the 100.
Mad Max.
Mad Max. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of different styles of apocalypse. Most people, when they think post-apocalyptic, they think deserts.
Yes.
But some of my favorite post-apocalyptic worlds are like, I say, I love Waterworld, where the entire world floods, and they're all pretty much on boats trying to find dry land. There's like one piece of dry land. And so they adapt accordingly. It's amazing. I love it. Or, what was it, 100? Where pretty much we nuke out the whole world, and now 100 years later, they're finally coming back to the world, and it's like pretty much everything is covered in the forest.
I kind of like the Adventure Time aspect.
I hate that show.
Where
she is trying to get me to watch Adventure Time,
I will make her watch Adventure
I am
Time.
Resisting.
But
resistance.
Marceline and Ice King.
It's all about the resistance.
There's a resistance in Adventure Time.
Unless it's Star Wars, and then down with the rebels. So,
Space apocalypse?
Space apocalypse, I guess.
Let's do a space apocalypse.
We haven't done space apocalypse. That would be kind of interesting. Would that be kind of like cyberpunky?
Yes, I would assume. So, let's go ahead and start with our topic. What kind of things did we bring with us today?
Well, last week I showed you on a DIY of how to use the shredder, and we're actually wearing some of the pieces we've actually shredded. My shirt under this one's pretty shreddy. It's kind of fun. If you look at her shirt, it makes very, very cool holes, and so that's what we started with our post-apocalyptic.
I have a very creepy tall guy behind me, don't I?
He's awesome. That's my friend. She's we don't know what she does. She just kind of stands around. She's really quiet.
She's kind of creepy.
But so let's talk about what we're wearing first. So we're wearing our post-apocalyptic gear, and when we decided to do this, I think we were deciding on forest runners. We wanted to go, the entire world has been taken back over by nature. And that's, I think, the first thing you had to think about is, what is the world you're now going to be in? Are you going to be in a desert? Are you going to be in the water? Is like trees taking over?
And then we had to...
Space.
Then we had to come up with, like, reasons you would have things on, like...
Yeah, we actually made sure when we chose each individual piece, we actually went very, very carefully with it, and we were like, why would I be wearing this piece? Because actually, we were actually designing these to go to Wasteland Weekend, and it's an entire week-long event.
Based on the world ending.
Based on the world ending. It's
like
really cool.
Burning Man of Mad Max.
Yeah, it's like Burning Man meets Mad Max. It really is. So we pretty much had to be like, okay, why is our character wearing each individual piece?
Because I guarantee you, somebody's going to ask you.
Somebody will, especially if you're going to do post-apocalyptic stuff.
Like, what is the point of your clothes?
Layers. Layers is good. So I can take off these pieces and I still have stuff. And you pretty much want to cover every inch, because if we're in the forest...
Trees, you know.
Spiky things.
Spiky thorns.
Spiky thorns.
Animals.
Normally I have gloves on, but...
I do not. I keep
I
them.
like my fingers.
I usually have a big bag. I like to carry when I do this costume. I carry a big bag around.
I have pockets.
Yeah.
You saw my pants last week. I have 19 pockets on those. Need more pockets.
So I mean, really gonna depend on what your character aspect is.
I kind of want to do a Waterworld one, because I think it'd be
agree.
really fun to just be like, do an underwater costume. I think it'd be really fun for the summertime, especially when you're swimming a whole lot.
Yeah, because these get really toasty.
Yeah, this is our winter.
This is the winter version.
We actually planned them, so we actually have a winter one, a summer one, which I find
you
really
have to be
funny.
able
It's
to
summertime
change.
right now, yet
You're
we're wearing the
winter
winter garb.
You really, depending on the time of year, you're gonna have to change your costume. Like, you really wouldn't wear browns and this dark greens in the summertime because everything is lush and green.
I mean, you would wear sunbrowns. It really depends on. It also depends on where in the world you're going to be as to what colors you're going to find.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to be post-apocalyptic in the tropics, I'm going to wear a Hawaiian shirt.
I'm not
Because I don't know, every post-apocalyptic movie I've ever watched, somebody
is
always
wearing
has a Hawaiian shirt. That's like the one article of clothing that somehow seems to stand the test of time.
is
I mean,
ugly
from
Hawaiian
Firefly
shirt.
to even Mad Max.
Wash is wearing an ugly Hawaiian shirt, isn't he?
He is wearing an ugly Hawaiian shirt. Somebody always, and even in Walking Dead, somebody always seems to wear an ugly Hawaiian shirt. It's like one of those post-apocalyptic staples that you don't really think about till you're like, oh my goodness, there it is.
There's that Hawaiian shirt.
So let's talk about this guy who's like right behind me. He's really big. We're gonna move to a different style of post-apocalyptic stuff. So we have this big giant guy right here.
Monsters in hell.
Monsters. You know, let's say the government finally does do their super soldier thing and it goes
Radioactive.
radioactive. You can end up with giant guys like this. This is actually our pyramid head. Normally he stands about 12 feet tall. He's got a big giant sword and he's covered in blood. And he's super fun. So let's actually, real fast, you want to talk about that build?
Okay. So I got to pick our costume last year, or 2 years ago, and I chose Silent Hill. It's a video game that unfortunately I didn't pick up until after the movies came out. But
I started with the movies too.
Yeah,
'cause
I think a lot of people started with the movies. If you weren't originally a gamer, I did start with the movies, and then I picked up the game. So
we played that game so
I
much
did.
trying to get to this costume.
So we based him off of Silent Hill Homecoming and part of the movie, instead of going the route of Silent Hill 2, where he was more of a
shovel face.
Yeah, he was
Like
more of
this
a
big,
shovel
weird.
versus.
It wasn't as pretty in my opinion.
Yeah, I liked the pointer.
She said we're gonna do Silent Hill.
Homecoming.
She wanted to do. I think you wanted to do 2 originally.
Yeah, I wanted
I
to
said-
do.
I wanted to do the classic, what I thought was the classic pyramid head look, because that's what I see in all the posters and
This
pictures.
is literally what everybody does, because Silent Hill 2, he's not very aesthetically pleasing, and he's got these weird gloves that are like this. Though I like him because
Penguin hands?
he's got the penguin hands, and he's got a javelin.
I wanted this one because I thought it was more. A was the more recognizable one. B, to me, it's prettier.
I do.
And
I like him better. Now that we have
I
him,
wanted to be pretty, gory, but pretty.
aesthetically pleasing.
Pretty gory. And aesthetically pleasing.
And so when we did the build, all of our costumes where we have we have big costumes like this.
I can't build
have
small.
handlers.
I've tried. It's become a problem.
yeah,
I
so
can't build small things.
Yeah.
I keep building bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and
It's
bigger.
kind of hard to top this guy right now. We just don't have the funds to top him yet. But
Well, he only cost $100 when
yeah,
I first built him.
his first build was only $100, so he was a budget costume. We used a lot of things we already have in the house.
I already had stilts.
Yeah, we already had the stilts. The EVA was already at the house.
Because our lovely friend donated to us a bunch of EVA and a whole sheet of Warbler. Actually, we won in a contest, and I'm
with
like,
and the heat gun.
and a heat gun. Oh my
So-
goodness! So this became the hey, let's try this out.
Yeah, he was let's test it out.
so
So he was a lot of fun. But all of our costumes that are big
have
that
to
require
have handlers.
we require.
So real fast, what is a handler?
A handler is what I and Ben do. We basically.
I and Ben no English.
I and Ben.
I and Ben. I and Ben no English. We make costumes. We don't English.
We don't English well. We basically, for people in big costumes or larger costumes, we are the in-between between the crowd and the cosplayer.
Mm-hmm.
We move the cosplayer to and from other areas of the convention. We run...
They tell me where doorways are.
we tell her where doorways, because she's completely almost blind and deaf in this thing.
Actually, I'm completely deaf in that thing because what you can't hear right now is there's actually 2 speakers mounted in it that play the sirens.
If
So
I
the only thing I
stand-
can hear is
Yeah, and if
going
you're
off
not
constantly.
careful and you stand right here, right in front of it, she can't see you and will run you over.
I can only see it like 45-degree angles, so anything directly in front of me I can't see.
So basically,
I
we
can only
are
see
the
45, and I can
in-between.
only see, I think, about 2 feet
Yeah,
in front of me
2
at the
feet
very
in front of
bottom.
So basically,
Oh, I'm pretty mobile.
yeah, you are pretty mobile in it. We get cosplayers in and out of their costumes. You have to be able to carry large supplies of water on you at all times.
These costumes get hot, but people don't realize, even these ones we're wearing, costumes
Get
get hot. And as
Most
a
people
cosplayer,
don't
you
think
need
about
to
it.
think about how you're going to hydrate yourself. When we were originally designing this, I was going to have a hydration system underneath it.
Yes, which we actually built, and when
had
we
scrap.
tested it, we wound up scrapping it, and Ben and I just carried water. While
And
we were
occasionally I
dragging.
just take the helmet off and I'll drink water. Don't be afraid to take your, like, if you're in a big costume like this,
Don't be afraid to take stuff
don't
off.
be afraid to take things off to take water breaks or to breathe or to cool down, because that thing gets really hot really fast.
But with handlers, we basically, when you're moving cosplayers, you have to be able to tell the crowd, hey, look, we understand you want pictures. We need to move to a safer environment. You have to be able to step in and tell the crowd, hey, we appreciate you looking at the costume. Let's move to a safer environment, because then you have issues with con security and you don't want to block hallways.
Or you have people that think it's
dangerous
funny
To trip people.
kick my stilts out from underneath me. I've had a couple people try this. And that's another reason we have the really big sword, is it actually acts as a third leg. So I'm actually got 3 stationary spots on the ground at all time. And I've actually had somebody at a convention try to kick my stilt out from underneath me. Thought it would be funny. I've had a couple of times when I've been in stilted costumes where they've done it and I've actually fallen.
Now,
Now, it was kind of funny to me during one of them because I kind of kicked him with the stilt in a...
most people
Slightly,
move out of the way from the person falling.
Yeah.
What they don't realize is that leg's gonna come up, and you have anywhere from a
20 inches minimum.
20-inch minimum to a 12-foot that you have to
built the 12 ones.
calculate for.
I think my biggest set of stilts I have is a 6-foot stilt. And the one where the guy tripped me and thought it would be funny, he stepped out of the way. He got out of the way of my actual foot, not the foot of the stilt.
I
So,
laughed because
please don't try to knock people over in their costumes. A, it's rude. B, it's dangerous to the person in the costume. And C, we put a lot of time into this. I think that was 8 months of building.
Yes, that was.
And I was working at least
8 months.
8 hours a day,
Yeah.
Monday through Thursday. Or Friday, I'd work from when I got off work till I dropped. And then Saturday and Sunday was at least a 20-hour day.
Yeah.
And this was
So-
for 8 months building that thing.
That guy.
I have no idea where my hands are.
But when we do big costumes like this, we require our handler team to also have costumes.
Mhm.
So when we originally were designing Pyramid Head, it was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Which is
We
fun
present to
because
you
Alyssa.
Alyssa's the little girl that actually conjures up Pyramid Head. And so in addition to that, she has really no pockets. She has no way to carry anything. So we designed a way for us, because when you're at a con, you have to carry your wallet, your keys, your room key if you have to.
Drinks.
Sometimes drinks, money. So that's actually where we designed the teddy bears. Now the teddy bears are actually one of my favorite things we've ever designed, because they look like a regular teddy bear until boop, boop. He
Water
is
bottle.
actually a water bottle. I think he actually has water in him right now. Yes, he does. You want to talk about something freaky? Pull a teddy bear's head off and drink out of it.
People,
In addition,
we're not happy.
He's got a pocket. So literally, we could keep everything. Hey, that's where his bow went.
It's
I
in
made
his
him a new
back.
bow, and it was in his back the whole time. Tells you how much I play with my teddy bear. So she carries him around, and it actually was part of the costume.
So I was playing through Silent Hill 2 when we were originally doing references, because I wanted all of the swords. I literally wanted a good shot of all the swords, and the best way to do that is play the game.
Yeah.
So as I
We
was
also
playing
really
through,
lucked out because we found a 3D.
You know, I
picture.
contacted
We got really
the
lucky.
company, and they were able to send me a 3D image because the game's so old.
was
They could send me
super
all the
awesome.
3D shots I wanted. But I was playing through Silent Hill, and I was able to, and there's a whole like 10-second memory scene where you're in Alessa's bedroom, and there is a teddy bear, a little brown teddy bear with a bow sitting on her desk. But when you go back into the room in the real world, there's not a bear.
So this became a really fun Easter egg for us because you could tell the people that had really played the game that really loved Silent Hill because they'd catch on to what the teddy bear was. Other people were just like, oh, she's carrying a teddy bear. It kind of also helped to emphasize the fact that you were a little girl.
Yeah.
That's another reason why we built it 12 feet tall, to make her look like a little girl.
Yeah. Basically, so the options for me were do Alessa, which with her being 12 feet tall made
Or
sense.
nurse. Everybody
or do
does
the
nurse,
nurse.
though.
But
Everybody
everybody
does
does
the
the
nurse.
nurse. So I was like,
We wanted to go a little bit of a different
we're
route.
have fun. So
And it actually ended up a lot creepier.
it did. I was able to take screenshots from the game. I took screenshots from all the games where Alessa was in it. I took screenshots from the movie, and then I did a sketch myself, and I melded together to get that.
It was really kind of fun because a lot of people, when we were at conventions, you know, you'd hear the sirens and you'd see this little creepy girl around the corner, and they're like, oh, and they'd expect a pyramid head to go, you know, you could hear me coming. So anybody who played the game knew
what was coming.
And they expect to see a pyramid head, like, at about eye height, and they'll be like, hey,
And then
and you
it
just
was
see the eyes get big.
and it was
My favorite thing
it
is
was
to
my
scare the
favorite
snot out of
part.
people.
But when we were, so originally it was just going to be me handling Jill, and then we realized I couldn't get her up and down on the stilts.
Yeah. Once I'm in that costume, I have to have somebody actually help get me up in the costume and actually get me down.
So
She's too short.
I'm very short. So what we did is when Ben moved in,
We love Ben. He was one of our creepy prospects. We actually have a different system we run for creepy cosplay, where if you want to join creepy cosplay, it's not just the two of us. We're actually building it into a larger group to do lots of cool stuff. Yes, creepy
right now
aspect.
it's only 3 of us.
There's 3 of us. Actually, we also have 4. We have the new prospect.
Oh yeah, we have newbie,
We have newbie.
and then we have the baby,
And we have the baby.
and the
5.
kids. We have 6
Yes, the
because we
kids.
have the kids.
The kids. They always come play. It's fun. So when you first join, you're not building the big costumes right off the bat. You've got to go through a year-long process to understand what we do. And the dedication it takes to do this. So you start off as a handler. Yes, handlers get smaller grade costumes. So for Ben, we made him Jack, so he was a bunch of
He's
military. James. I keep looking at the teddy bear. Teddy bear's name is Jack. Wendy. Danny. Bonus points if you can figure out where those 3 names come from.
But we start everybody off as a handler, and you still get to be in a costume, but you do have to start as a handler.
And then you get to build the big stuff.
And then then you get to get in this guy. So our next build, you wanted to do Sisters of Battle.
We're doing Warhammer 40K, and I'm building giant things.
And then I've already planned for the year after, when it's my turn again, and we're gonna do BioShock because I want a Big Daddy costume.
We're building 2 Big Daddies, and there's some funny things that go on with the Big Daddies because they're actually going to open up, and we're going to involve the kids like climbing on them.
Super excited.
It's going to be Big Daddy and Big Mama and Little Sister and Little Brother.
We're really excited.
I'm really excited because I get to be Big Mama, and our son is going to be Little Brother.
And he's
so
gonna climb
he's actually going to ride back the costume.
That's so cute.
I got to quit planning big things.
We can't
That's all I got
build
in this
anything small, man.
I've built 1 small costume. I built the twins.
Yeah, and these.
That was in 2014.
We don't build small.
These aren't even small, Hurley. You've seen the weaponry that goes with this. I've got a bazooka. It's really fun. So, don't ask me why I need a bazooka. It just
Where are we gonna find a bazooka in the middle of the forest?
Who said it was the forest? I mean, the world's ended. I can find some. We live in Texas. I mean, you don't know what people are hiding in their houses.
I don't want to know what people are hiding in their houses.
So I could find a bazooka somewhere, I'm sure. So once we get back into Pyramid Head, we built the sword. It's actually an entire 2x10 piece of wood. That thing is actually pretty heavy, but
I don't like carrying that thing.
we don't like carrying it. It's really fun because you're like, one person carries the sword, one person carries the helmet, and one person carries the rest of the costume.
On her butt.
You carry it on your butt?
You carry it on your
I'll
butt.
carry the sword on my butt. That thing is heavy.
Because you're Wonder Woman. We're just going to slide that thing right down your back. Logically, it does work.
Logically, it doesn't work.
It does work.
Sort of.
Somebody actually tested it out with a claymore.
I don't want to know. You got to watch Wonder Woman. If you do, you'll kind of have an idea of what we're talking about with the sword and the
It's fantastic.
right between the butt cheeks.
Yep.
I don't get it. Me personally, I think it'd be like, would it be like a sword wedgie?
I think it would be a sword.
I don't want a sword wedgie.
But it
I
does
don't-
explain a lot of things about Wonder Woman.
Really? We're gonna go there?
Yes.
Of all things, we're gonna go there. So, okay, since, we're talking about these lovely costumes, we built a lot of this. I had to apologize. Like, I made an hour-long post on Facebook, video post, apologizing to my math teachers in high school, saying, I'm never gonna use math, blah, 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 geometry. Geometry. I had to pull out, I bought a protractor.
Angles.
I got a compass. There was
Angles are
angles.
things.
There was a calculator. There was math involved. There's long sheets of it. And because you don't realize the weird angles. When we first built him, we actually built him on a poster board so that I could get all the angled pieces right before I started cutting into foam. And then it was, I think, a good 2 months of just building that helmet. The base of that helmet, not the
detail, just the base.
just the base. I spent 2 months also painting the dang thing.
He was a
That
pain.
was lots of layer painting. I think there's 16 layers of just the browns.
Just brown. And
I
rust.
think the rust. There's so much paint on that thing. It's crazy. But that's kind of the fun. You get to do some crazy things. Like, I hate to say it, the back of my house still has a giant blood splatter across the, wall.
And the
'cause
driveway.
the driveway has the rust stains. And so does the road out front. I bleached an entire section of our concrete outside our house.
Yes.
But that house
Wonderful.
will always remember me.
As the day it almost caught Captain Jill Sparrow.
Almost got Captain Pyramid Head.
Sparrow.
Sparrow. Deadpool.
So this just came in. We have a question of the day.
Where is our question of the day?
Let's see here.
This is why you don't feed us caffeine.
We have a
We're
caller
costumers. It's like,
on
beep,
line
beep,
one
beep.
with question of the day.
Caller line, do you have a question? Caller 2.
Oh,
Hey, caller
Okay.
1. Hey, caller 1.
hello caller. I'm having an issue with my first costume. I'm trying to keep on budget. Bidget. I don't know what a bidget is, but I'm assuming it says budget. And the fabric I bought just doesn't feel right. What is the difference in fabrics at the store so I don't make the same mistake?
Oh, the fabric
Oh
store.
goodness. Okay. So I don't know what fabric you bought, and I'm hoping it wasn't the cosplay fabric
Do not buy
because
the
that
cosplay
would
fabric.
explain why it doesn't feel right.
There's a line of cosplay fabrics out there right now.
And I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend them. You go
At
one
all?
aisle over, you can find the same fabric for better quality. But when you're in the fabric store, the fun thing is you can actually touch all the fabrics. You can touch them, you can feel them, you can then look at their prices. Personally, I go to Joann's a lot because that's what we have close by.
They don't have a Hancock anymore.
I miss Hancock's.
I do too.
They had my jersey match. It was so much fun. Okay, but the difference in fabrics will range depending upon what you're trying to build. So let's case in point, let's go to Pyramid Head again. So for the skirt, I wanted something a lot rougher, something that would feel like human flesh. I lucked out when we were building this because we were building this on a budget. I found a curtain at a thrift shop and I turned it into his skirt. But the fabric itself is actually a heavier weight canvas so that it would actually feel thicker and work for what I wanted to. I wanted it to be heavy. I wanted it to lay and stay where it was. Whereas for, let's say I'm going to build, I'm going to go with your favorite movie. Let's say I'm going to build Belle's dress. I don't want to go with a heavy fabric because, it's supposed to be light and airy and
We're going to
flowy.
use Satan and organza.
Satin. Organza. Satin, silks. Unfortunately, some of these are kind of pricey. So when you're going
Swarovski
through
crystals.
Those things are really expensive.
Oh God, yes.
For our next costume, our ball costume, I've spent way too much money on crystals alone. But so let's say I want to build Belle's ball gown. Well, my optimal thing, I would want to build it out of silk, so it'd be light and flowy. Silk's pricey, so I'm gonna go look at silk, see what it feels like, what it looks like, and then I'm gonna work in my price range to find something that will work
So
just
I'm
the
going
same.
to go to costume satin.
Costuming satin.
Or
Special
Satan.
occasions, we call it Satan because it's so annoying to sew.
Nobody wants to sew.
It frays on the
silky fabric.
ends.
And,
you gotta
and they
constantly clip it,
slide.
and they slide.
It's like working with fur.
Yeah, don't cut it with scissors.
Nobody told me that.
She cut fur with scissors. I have fluffy. It looks like my dog exploded everywhere.
I had it in my nose for days.
I still find it. That was 4 years ago, and I still find it. So what you're going to do with your fabrics is you're going to find what your optimal, if I had all the money in the world to spend on this at the fabric store, this is the fabric.
What I would build it out of.
Feel it. Look at it. My biggest thing is what we do when we go in with a notebook and our phones, make sure they're fully charged, and we'll take a picture of the very end cap of that bolt with all of its information, what color it is, what style of fabric it is,
it's
all of this lovely stuff. It's barcode everything.
How many yards are on it, how wide it is.
It's
everything
awesome.
you need to know about that piece of fabric is on that bolt. Yes. On the end of the bolt.
Because sometimes when you look at these things, you're like, okay, I bought this fabric, I bought silk. Well, I've never sewn silk, so before I go sew silk, I'm going to go online, I'm going to research how to sew silk.
I am research department.
She's
I can
research.
tell you everything about anything you want.
She'll be like, oh yeah, so this is how you do it. I'm like, oh yeah.
And
I've been sewing for...
Yeah. Ever. You've just been sewing forever. Don't age yourself. Stop counting.
28 years.
Don't stop counting. It's okay.
I like counting. Math. I did math in my head. Yay.
So also another thing I like to do is don't be afraid to take the fabric up to the cutting counter and ask for a sample. They will literally cut you like 1/4 of an inch.
Sometimes it might cost you.
If you want a wider sample, it'll cost you. But all Joann's will give you a sample cut of 1/4 of an inch.
Sometimes they have to cut the whole thing.
Yeah, sometimes they have, if it's a,
so sometimes,
unfortunately if it's a panel, you have to cut the whole panel. But a lot of the times they will give you 1/4
Don't be afraid to spend that little bit and spend hours in the sewing and just walking around with fabrics. I've grabbed a cart and I've grabbed 30 or 40 fabrics. And then I go plop myself on a corner somewhere and I will play with the fabrics. My Joann's has just gotten used to my weirdness.
They know
it's kind of funny.
Weird.
Because they also send everybody to me to find fabrics. They're like, hey, I need to find this kind of fabric.
The employees go to her.
It's bad. I live in that store. And so don't be afraid to play with your fabrics. Find a whole bunch. Look at the colors. And then when you find the one you want to buy, make sure that's when you take the end of the picture. Because we're going to go back over here to lovely, lovely Alyssa. We bought this fabric. She bought this fabric. She started sewing it. She pleated a skirt. She made this beautiful skirt. It was awesome. Then she realized the skirt wasn't pleated.
Luckily, the first time I ever pleated, and it was
had
perfect.
that picture, the image, so we could actually go back into the store, find the exact fabric we used, and then we were able to, luckily this one actually color matches, which is awesome. Not all fabrics will color match. Not all fabrics, every time they do a new bolt, might get a slightly different color of dye.
It really sucks.
Certain fabrics will be always colored the same. That's one of the reasons I love Kona cotton, is because no matter what, their color, if it's black, it's always the same black.
It's guaranteed.
If it's sunshine yellow, it's always the same color. Whether I buy a bolt today or I go buy a bolt in 2 years, it's the same color. And I love it.
I can't say the same about Country Classics or Simplicity broadcloth.
Yeah. Those things vary, sometimes even on the bolt.
I've bought I buy a whole bolt at a time when I buy Simplicity broadcloth.
Use a lot of fabric.
Because it is usually it's $3.99 a yard, not on sale. If it's on sale, I can get it for $1.99 a yard. But usually I wait till there's a 60% off coupon. Always go to Joann's with coupons.
Always
saying.
Here's the fun thing with especially, I'm going to give you my little
tip of the day.
My little tip of the day. I'm going to give it to you a little bit early. So you're going to get lots of tips today. When you're going to Joann's for fabric, the email I get has a 50% off coupon. The email she gets has a 50% off coupon. The email our roommate Ben gets has a 50% off coupon. All of them have different numbers, which means
the app has a
I
different
can
number.
use all 3 of our emails. I can use the app.
And the website.
And the website.
And
here's the fun
you
thing.
can use the 40% off coupon
They
from
also
Hobby Lobby.
they give you a text, and you can use the 40% off from Hobby Lobby. If you're special like me and you've got multiple email accounts, I've set up Creepy Cosplay email as actually getting Joann's coupons just so I can get another one.
I have my Gmail and my Yahoo.
I have my Gmail, my Yahoo, my Creepy Cosplay, my Twisted Threads. I have like 20
we
emails.
never go in to Joann's without 60-something coupons.
Always go in. And here's my fun thing. If you're working on a costume and you go into Joann's and they always have sales, and that fabric you want is 30% off, but it's not dire that you pick it up that day, look at to see when that sale ends, then go back in and buy that fabric. and get it with your 50% off coupon, especially if you're going to work on a budget.
I'm actually got I've got a costume planned out, and Kona has our choice of cotton that we use for these costumes has unfortunately been on sale at 30% off for 2 weeks. I've got a 60% off coupon and the sale ends tomorrow. I'm just gonna wait till the sale ends.
Yep. So when you're, let's say we're going back with the silk and you want to try to compare your fabrics, I look like a moron sometimes in the fabric store, but I'll take it, I'll unbolt it a little bit, and then I'll turn around in a circle to see how that fabric reacts to it, especially if I'm going to build a dress. Or, you know, sometimes you have to go with different fabrics for your own, for what you're building. Here's the fun thing, though. Animes, sometimes you can't tell what fabric they're using, so you get to make it up as you go.
I didn't know what the schoolgirl costume was made out of.
So
I didn't know what it was.
So we assumed, we went, okay, well, schoolgirl outfit, this is the area it's from, let's go. We researched, I think, Japanese schoolgirl outfits.
And then I researched school uniforms from a very specific region.
Mm-hmm.
And then I researched age-appropriate school uniforms.
You don't have to go to all this detail. We're weird.
I'm a weird person.
Totally go weird. We also like to be very, very accurate.
I am very accurate. So I researched all of that, and when I found what their school uniform was, I had my aunt, who actually lives in Japan, go to the store where they sold this very specific school uniform, and I asked her what fabric it was. I asked her for a swatch of it, and she mailed it to me, and I was able to find out it's actually
we went
made.
To the fabric store doing this number on all the fabrics.
I found out it's actually made from an outerwear.
It was actually
It's a not a terry cloth. It's
wool based.
God, I can't think of it. It's a wool based.
It's in the back aisle, right next to the fleece.
Gabardine.
In between the two rows. Gabardine. Who's like, I can tell you exactly where in the store it is.
I know exactly where it is. But it's actually a outerwear based. Sportswear.
My brain will work.
It's called gabardine, but it is a really nice, thin outerwear.
And it's actually pretty durable too. Sometimes
they make suits out of this.
Yeah. The thing also with your costume and your fabric choices, you've also got to decide, are you going to do this just for a one-time costume? If it's a one-time costume, I say never spend more than $100 on a costume, especially if it's one time. However, if this is going to be your costume, like we do costumes for about a 1 to 2 year run, and so I'll spend a little bit more money because I need that thing to be durable. And we were also going to weekend after weekend after weekend. So if you're going to like 3 cons a year, and that's a little bit much for a lot of people, you know, you don't have to worry about spending a whole bunch of money on your costume because it's all about having fun.
Also, know where you're going. If you're taking this thing out of your state, I made the mistake of having a jacket and a long sleeve shirt on in the middle of September.
In Atlanta,
Georgia.
Yeah.
They're
I love
more
this costume.
humid
This
than
costume
we
is
are.
fantastic. However, in the wintertime, I'm in a sleeveless shirt. It's cold.
Wintertime, I love that thing.
My head's warm. My legs are warm.
I
My
love
arms
my
are
costume in the
freezing.
winter.
So pay attention to where you're going. Pay attention where you're going. I totally just like flipped my words.
Yeah.
Also, like especially with Pyramid Head, make sure you know how to pack your costume. When I bought my new car, I actually took my sword with me, and the dealer thought I was completely nuts. But I'm like, he's like, what about this car? And I put the sword in. He's like, nope. He's like, why? I was like, sword doesn't fit. Well, you can strap it to the roof. Ain't happening. I purchased my car based on being able to fit an 8-foot sword into it.
And I can still slide into the car with that thing in there.
It's kind of funny though.
We
I
can
can actually
pack-
fit a 10-footer in there.
Yeah, we can pack 4 adults and the infant in the back of the car with that sword and all the costumes.
It's kind of fun. So you got to make sure you're able to actually travel with your costumes.
Yeah. So
Also know how your fabric's going to react if it's going to be sitting in your car with a lot of heat.
shedding.
You are shedding.
Shedding fabric.
Also, if you're going to build like with things like linen, you've got to be able to seal the edges, because if you don't seal that edge, and by seal the edge I mean either zigzag stitch the edge, like serge it, or do a French seam, when you wash that costume for the first time, it's going to disintegrate. Also be aware of whether or not you can wash a costume. I can't wash that guy. He'll kill my washer.
Yeah.
I washed that fabric once in an old washing machine that is now sitting outside my house specifically for costumes, because I washed it and it killed my washer.
Oh god, the mess it made.
Whole house smelled like vinegar. It was awesome. She
And
hates
everything, and then
How
She
smelly
didn't
vinegar for
warn
2
me
months. Everything seems
that
to do 2 months.
everything was gonna smell like vinegar, and so
I
I
don't
started
smell
washing
it.
clothes in it, and then all our clothes smells like vinegar, and now the clothes that I washed in the washing machine are all rusty, and I can't get the stains out anymore.
Yeah, be aware of how your costumes are going to affect your washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Because the dye I use on that was called Magic Black, and it's made out of rust.
And it's made for leather.
I know what
leather
happened.
dye.
I forgot to deactivate the rust before I put it in the washer, and I kind of killed my washer.
Leather dye and my
We all
washer.
oops. It's fine. I got a brand new washer.
Yeah.
It's $50. I don't care. I like this new one. I kind of miss the old one because it had a lot of settings. So, okay. So some more tips and tricks for a lot of things. One of them was our teddy bears. When you're at a con, sometimes you don't have pockets. Pyramid Head has absolutely no pockets. So unless I stick things up in my helmet, I can't carry anything.
She mounts her phone in the nose.
I actually do mount my phone. My phone actually sits right here, and she gets mad at me because I'll watch things like The Labyrinth in my helmet. So I'll be like,
And she'll sit there and dance and not share.
Pyramid Head will be dancing around, and she's like, "You're watching The Labyrinth again," because I have a headset to talk to her because I'm 12 feet tall. So we built these things. There are actually 2 of them. They're both actually water bottles. And then we had built them so that A, we could stay hydrated, B, we could carry what we needed to with us, and C, so it wouldn't disrupt the costume or the look. Because we actually carry these teddy bears when we're doing the twins from The Shining, and the biggest thing about that costume
So there's no pockets.
is, well, actually, the way that costume works, it's because we walk dead-faced, hand in hand. And if I'm walking dead-faced, hand in hand, and I've got a cell phone in my hand, kind of throws off the whole illusion.
Got a purse on our
Or if
backpack.
you got a purse thrown over your shoulder. Sometimes it throws your illusion. Yeah, for costumes you can, for pictures you can tuck it behind you or all of that.
It's still a pain.
But for this costume, the biggest scare, and I love scaring people, is literally the way we walk when we're in it. That and then popping the heads off and drinking water. We actually disrupted an entire panel of actors. Totally wigged them all out.
It was fantastic.
Because we were sitting in the audience and I got thirsty and Harley and I popped the water bottles and started drinking out of the water bottles, and the actor doing his show was like, "Hey, I cannot go on."
And then he wanted to buy my teddy bear off me, and I'm like,
You
this
wanted to buy
is
your
my
teddy
bear.
My teddy bear. I love it. But the teddy bears were actually super simple when I built them. We actually went to Toys R Us and I bought 2 cute little teddy bears, and then I ripped their heads off. And when I seam ripped the seam right here that goes into its head, and I pulled it apart. You can actually kind of see where it's pulled apart right here. And I pulled it apart right here, and I pulled his head almost completely off. I left the seam right in the very back of his neck, still connected, and then I sealed it back up. I double stitched it in. I went back through and I restitched it to really secure his head back on. I could actually carry him by his head. Then the fun thing was we had to get the water bottle into the teddy bear. So I took out the fluff. I put the water bottle in. I wanted to make sure I had a heavy enough water bottle that he could wear it and not tip over. They're actually metal. I can't find him in there. He's in there, but it's metal. And then I set the water bottle in and I restuffed all the stuffing back around the bear to make sure it would fit. Fun. Once he was in there, I turned him around to the side and I sliced down the back of his seam. And these were actually little dollar pencil holders that I got at Target. It's big enough, just big enough for me to fit my phone, my keys, my ID, everything I need, and still be able to zip it up and carry my stuff. And nobody ever knows I'm actually carrying a bunch of stuff with me. Because as far as you know, he's just a cute little teddy bear. Then we would put the bows back on to hide the water bottle. And now I have a cute little teddy bear that nobody can ever tell unless you really get up close to it. He smoked a lot. He's
got a tracheotomy there.
Yep. So now I have my cute little teddy bear. And we wanted to make sure that they could sit properly and nobody would know. Ooh, I just broke my zipper.
Oh no.
Oh, fixing!
It's okay. I keep ripping mine in the back.
Yep.
I am not as good as her as arts and crafting.
I'm crafty.
So my bear's a little rougher for wear.
There we go. All fixed. So you can build hidden pockets and things. If we really wanted to, I could have put pockets in Pyramid Head, but
I like him better like you.
I have handlers to carry all my stuff for me. So I love my teddy bear. He's so cute. Now the thing you have to remember, now these actually, when we put the water bottles in them, I re-cinched the seam back around his neck, and then I hot glued it down.
So we can't actually remove the
I
bottles.
can't remove the water bottle.
So they are strictly water bottles?
They are strictly water in the water bottle. And when it comes time to actually clean them out, I use hot water, and I have to very carefully clean them out. Though oddly enough, I can shove this whole teddy bear in the washing machine.
You can.
It's kind of funny though. He makes a really big clunky noise. So the whole teddy bear can actually go in the washer. If he gets gross, gets something on him. But I really don't recommend because we can't take the water bottles out, which means we have to be very careful about cleaning them.
So we can't throw
Also,
them in
when
the
we
dryer.
dry them out, we have to keep their heads open so they air dry properly. What other kind of cool stuff do we have for tips and tricks? Also, for big costumes like this, especially if you're going to be really tall and you can't hear what's around you, we actually use a headset. I actually have a Bluetooth headset that goes in underneath it, and we're actually on a phone call. We were going to put walkie-talkies in there, but we kept having signal disruption.
Yeah, because we were at Dragon Con, and if you're not using your cell phone, people are on walkie-talkies.
And the
dear.
walkie-talkie we had in there, people kept interrupting our conversation, so I couldn't actually talk with my handler to communicate words like, hey, my right stilt is really loose. I think I'm going to have to stop here. Hey, I'm getting really hot. I'm going to stop here and take off my helmet. Or, hey, this person has a question. What was this made out of? Or what was that? Or, hey, these people want to have a picture with you.
Don't get mad on your road trip and throw your phone at your sister.
She chunked her phone at me.
And
It's
I shattered my phone on the way to Dragon Con, which we needed.
We were still able to use it.
We were just
really-
really bad.
She cracked the screen.
And
This is why you don't get mad at people on road trips.
Don't get mad at your friends on road trips.
Also, don't drive through Alabama at 3 o'clock in the morning because it makes you want to take the entire costume out because it's all like foggy.
And we couldn't.
I
because we were in
really
San
wanted
Fran.
to take the costume out of the car, put it on, and like stand on the side of the
It was
road
also
as Pyramid
buried.
Head.
It's also buried. A
Yeah.
lot of the pieces were
it's-
buried.
I do have pictures of that thing somewhere, don't I? Our car was jam-packed. It was kind of cool because we picked, I think we had 4 Foot Locker trunks, Pyramid Head, somehow a cooler. Somehow I shoved 3 people in that car.
That's okay. I slept on top of the cooler at one point.
So did I. It was kind of cool. I actually slept across the top of the cooler and across everything we had. I like dug a little hole.
Tick, 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 tick.
Tick, 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 tick. So some more tips and tricks that we have for like let's see post-apocalyptic gear. What other kind of tips and tricks can we do?
Gas masks are fun.
Gas masks are fun.
But we live in Texas.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Allergies. Be aware if you're allergic to something. Don't plan a whole costume where you're gonna have like this big old giant gas mask on and then realize you're
actually
allergic to
the
it.
components.
Yeah.
We have
Or
a
the
friend,
makeup.
We have a friend that is allergic. He makes beautiful props. Beautiful. And he is allergic to all of the stuff he uses.
It's really kind of funny.
Yeah.
So be aware, also be aware of your temperatures. Temperatures is like my biggest thing I've learned from building
I am not
costumes.
going to be wearing this jacket in 90-degree weather.
Yeah, we actually built these with tank tops underneath so that if
We
we
have
are
a
doing
base
things
at
in
all
the
times.
summer, we can down the layers to look appropriate, or we
Yeah.
can layer back up.
We can base any. I always recommend if you're doing stuff like this, making a base layer.
Start with your base, work your way up. Or if you're going to do a character like I did Pyramid Head, where Pyramid Head actually doesn't wear a shirt, but I'm a girl and I can't do that in public. I can, I guess, now. But I really don't want to. So what I did is I took a tank top and I found one that matched my skin tone as much as I could. Then I dyed it to match the rest of my skin tone. And I wear that. So it looks like I'm still shirtless, but I'm not. And I'm comfortable. Everybody around me is comfortable. Well, actually, they're really not that comfortable. Most of them are freaked out. I love scaring people. I do it to
have
our friend
pictures-
Jeffrey all the time.
I have pictures of our 4-year-old
He won't let me
walking
touch
up and hugging her, and then when he realizes she's got blood in her hand and she's trying to pick something up, he will like literally go up, take things from her, and go, "You can't touch that.
You're sticky. I'm sticky. Until I dry, I'm sticky.
And even then,
Yes.
he still doesn't like her touching things.
Yeah, if I have any kind of gore on me, even if it's dry, like I've been carrying Pyramid Head around. He's like, no, you can't touch that. You're sticky. And I'm like, I'm not covered in blood this time. No, you're sticky.
If she's in like costume, she's automatically.
I'm automatically sticky. Even if I haven't put the blood layers on yet, I'm automatically sticky. It's kind of funny. He's associated Pyramid Head with me being sticky. It's kind of
At least
gross.
he knows.
I just thought how that sounds. That's so bad.
Why is it? I don't want to know.
So let's see, fun tips and tricks. We've talked about how to travel with your costumes. We've talked about different kind of fabrics. Also, I make a fabric album.
Yes.
That's what I do. I take little scrap pieces and I put them in my book, and then I write what they are. Because if somebody along the line eventually is going to ask you, hey, I loved this outfit. What did you make XYZ out of? And it's really good to have a list. Or if you're going to do repairs later.
Or you're entering a cost test where they want to know the exact specifications of your fabric and everything else. You
I
can
want to know how much you spent on it.
Look.
They weren't happy. I entered a binder. I had a 4-inch binder with how we built these two costumes. It was kind of funny. There's way more information there. I had the exact sizes of the nuts and bolts we used. And there's a lot.
I inputted receipts.
We had receipts. Keep everything, because you never quite know. Let's say we're working with Pyramid Head and all of a sudden I snap my sword in half and I've got to go rebuild another one. What color paint did I use? What color blood did I use? What
Receipts have item numbers.
What style of wood did I use? You know, videotape yourself building some of these too.
Because you're going to not
Or take pictures of how you're doing things, because sometimes you'll never, you're like, I need to rebuild this item.
Line, 3 or 4 years down the line where you're like, man, I want to wear that again. How did I do that?
Somebody eventually is going to ask you how you did that, and you're like,
I don't know.
magic. It's usually my favorite answer is magic. How'd you do this? I have no idea. It was
All
5
magic
a.m. in the
comes with
morning.
a
I
price.
hadn't slept in 4 days, and it appeared.
Yep. All magic comes with the price.
I'm not doing Mr. Gold right now, and I'm not playing a bard, and I'm not shoving people.
But all magic
That's
comes with the
next
price. That's why Disney's so expensive.
That is why Disney is so expensive. Some of the fun things, like if you actually go look at some of the costumes, I remember Maleficent. We were really interested in doing Maleficent, and I started researching that one, and I realized her headpiece is made out of stingray leather.
So
that
she
stuff
asked
is
me to go find
$75 a foot.
So she told me it was stingray leather. She then asked me, hey, can you find some stingray leather for me and give me a price?
$75 a foot.
So I sent her the invoice for stingray leather for the amount of leather you would need
Takes 3 feet.
to make that headpiece. It's $75 a yard. And
for-
they don't go on sale. Stingray
And that's
leather
just for the
does not-
horns. It's kind of
That's
funny.
not even the headpiece.
And it's really hard to find. You can't actually, fun thing is Disney will actually pay a company to discontinue a fabric
Not to let cosplayers get a hold of it.
so that other people can't get a hold of it and reduplicate it. It's
They-
kind of cool. I learned that the fun way. So, but you know, you can redo a lot of things and rebuild a lot of things. Like we looked into doing Elsa and Anna at one point, and I wanted to do a transformation dress.
Those things
Then I
are
got smart
pain.
because she sent me all the research for it, and I'm like, hey, yeah, off my table it goes.
Yep, bye.
So don't be afraid. We do a lot of research in our costumes, and
I
that's where.
do-
How about research? Talk about research.
Okay. So since I am the research department in our company, I do anywhere from 100 to 300 hours of research per costume.
I don't know where she finds some of these things. I'll be like, hey, I need this image for this, but I can't find it. 5 minutes later, she's like, here's 15 versions of it. I'm like, where'd this come from? Google.
Internet.
What did you Google to find this?
Cartoon
Bippity
Dragon?
boppity, presto, here it is.
Cartoon Dragon?
She's got amazing Google foo. I don't get it.
But yeah, I will. My research, if it's a video game, I will actually email companies and go, hey, this game has been out for XYZ number of years. I cannot get a hold of art book. Is there a way that you could actually send me a 3D screenshot? I need this angle of the character. Is there a way I can get this? A lot of the times,
Some of them are actually pretty cool about
yeah,
it.
a lot of the companies have actually been able to send me full 3D shots of the costume. They'll send me stills, concept art. I think I've only had one company ever really give me a big issue, but that was because the game hadn't come out yet.
And they don't want to release those images yet.
And
The
I
other
worked
thing is
for the
also
company, I
sometimes
still couldn't get it.
Sometimes you have to make things up. It's a lot of fun to make things up. Or sometimes I will actually look at other cosplayers and see what they did in place of that little image. And if you start seeing the same thing show up on the same on multiple cosplayers,
It's typically what
it's
it is.
typically what it is. You know, maybe not specifically, and don't be afraid. You don't have to go screen accurate. Go whatever makes you comfortable.
I
I
like
will.
being screen accurate sometimes. but
Screen
sometimes I
accurate
don't.
means money.
Screen accurate.
Money. Screen accurate.
Yeah. Almost,
2 months.
Almost
painting.
100% screen accurate.
We missed one spot.
One. And it was just because I wasn't paying attention and I forgot that angle.
That's okay. I found it later. And
Yeah,
I inserted
I
it.
found it. But hey, it happens.
Like, the fun things on Pyramid Head. Like, if you want to stay within a budget, I've got riveting on Pyramid Head. I didn't
brads.
actually rivet this thing. It's brads. It's paper fastener brads. But once you spray paint over them, you can't tell the difference.
Nope.
It's spray paint brads.
Thank you, Pinterest.
It's PVC for the piping and PVC knobs for the back. I love Home Depot.
And Lowe's.
And Lowe's. Our Lowe's department has actually gotten to the point there we walk in, they're like, hey, what costume are you building? And when I went actually go get wood for my fence, they thought I was nuts.
Harbor Freight.
Literally, you've got chicken meshing. Chicken.
It's chicken wire, screen door meshing,
Yeah. Pantyhose.
and pantyhose.
There's 3 layers on that just to be able to see. So that it's dark enough that I can still see through, but you can't see me inside there. It's a t-shirt from, I think it was a $3 t-shirt from Walmart.
Yep.
A curtain I got at a thrift store. A bunch of belts I paid $1 for. And most of that is actually just paint. And, wow, that thing is actually off. I have never noticed that before. I just looked up at our TV screen and noticed that the 2 pieces of piping on there are off. Oh, that's going to bug me now.
Oh, yep. Now I
Oh,
see
that's
it.
going to bug me now. I've seen it.
Great. Now I have to go rebuild it. Crap.
Gotta scrap the whole thing. Gotta rebuild. But also,
2.5 years and I gotta do it again.
in addition to that, I realized, the first time I put it on, I realized just how heavy this thing was. So I built a strapping system to keep it to my body so that my body would carry the weight and not the top of my head or my shoulders. So it was kind of fun. You know, don't be afraid to modify a piece to make yourself comfortable.
No, never. Always. You don't kill yourself for a costume.
Yeah. If you're getting hot, take it off. So, post-apocalyptic. It's the end of the world, not the end of you. So have fun with it. Seriously, I don't know how many times I can tell you this. Have fun with costumes.
Yeah, have fun.
I love post-apocalyptic costumes because as long as you're not going with a specific movie,
I
you
have a
can
lot of
literally
fun.
go anywhere you want. We went running through a thrift store and was like, I like that, I like that, I like that. What are you going to use it for? No idea.
That's how we end up with so much fabric.
Yeah, that is how I end up with so much fabric.
To be fair, she sends me to the fabric store
Unsupervised.
in Dallas while she's in Austin and hands me a credit card and told me buy fabric.
I'm not allowed to go into the fabric store
I was left
unsupervised.
unsupervised.
We had to supervise each other, and then we had to go, well, do we really need this? Yes, we do.
That's why we have to bring Ben.
Yeah, I need somebody to keep me from buying all the fabric. I love fabric.
Everybody loves fabric.
I also have fabric. I'm like, I need this for a costume, but not this costume. So I have to go buy more fabric to do this costume. What's that one for? I don't know.
I don't know yet. I just bought it.
But it's special, and I don't want to use it yet.
It's kind of like I bought all the fabric to make Link's Breath of the Wild's costume.
And we're not doing it.
And now I'm not doing it.
So especially if you're on a budget, buy what you need specifically. But don't be afraid. Like, if you're going to build a costume, buy a little extra. Because you're going to oops at some point.
Which I have.
I oops a lot.
I
And
always buy the yard
luckily
extra.
I can cover my oopses occasionally. And don't be afraid, like, if you oops. Like, if you look on the back of Alyssa's skirt,
Oh, please, God, don't look at that
it's
thing.
atrocious.
Don't look at the back of that thing.
She cut the waist hemming in half. So we just stitched it back together. Nobody's going to see it under the costume.
I also sewed it on backwards.
And she sewed it on backwards, too. Yeah.
So,
I made her do all the sewing. This is her first costume she ever sewed all by herself. I wouldn't touch it. It was fun watching all the mistakes.
I was throwing things. I was mad.
I think
She wouldn't even, like, help me. I would
wouldn't even-
ask for her opinion, and she'd go, nope, you're on your own.
Nope, you're on your own. And that costume ended up in a trash can so many times.
She had to go save it. It's okay. I
She
had to
threw it in
save
the
the
trash
helmet.
can. I put it in the trash can on purpose. I was working on the inside.
Well, when you threw it away a
Yeah,
couple
that thing
times,
pissed me off.
I was like,
I
okay,
get annoyed with costumes.
go save it.
Gotta take it out of this trash can, put it in this trash can. I used a trash can to flip it upside down so I could work on the inside.
And then it ended up, her ex-husband was dumb and put it in the big trash can outside because he thought she was throwing it away.
I was
I
working
don't
on
think
the
I
inside,
have
it was
ever
drying.
moved that quickly to go save it from the dumpster.
Yeah, I would have been really mad because that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
I had it upside down. It was drying a piece on the inside because I was working on the pantyhose at the time. Oh, I was so mad. It was beautiful.
So this
So
has
beautiful.
been our episode of post-apocalyptic
and scary costumes and all the craziness and the random weird. I don't know what it is. The Hawaiian shirt still freaks me out.
Stay tuned for Zombie Life TV up next on the Fanboy TV Block Party, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one.